Hi, everybody. Welcome to Choices Finding Your Joy. Paula here, your host once again, founder of Wellness Inspired. And we have just an amazing guest today who's going to share some fantastic information with us. I am really happy to share with everyone Nina Venturella. She is a certified nutrition specialist, lymphatic system expert, certified personal trainer, teacher, speaker, founder, and developer of Extract, and an award-winning author. So first off, welcome, Nina.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you're saying, and I'm glad to be here.
So happy to have you here. Oh, and I know you're just full of information and inspiration. So first off, do you want to share maybe a little bit of background and what got you into the nutrition aspect of life and career?
Sure. So I am 52 years old, and the reason I say that is because my journey started 20 some years ago. And I was one of those people who, personal trainer, nutritionist, worked out all the time, ate everything right. And then one day I woke up extremely sick. And it kind of all just started there. And by my own journey and trying to discover what the heck was wrong with me, because it felt like all my organs were shutting down at one time. And I knew at first I thought it was the flu, thinking, oh, it's just something, viral or something like that. But after about 3 weeks, I got progressively sicker. And I know that that's not the flu. I knew there was something more to it. So I obviously did what everybody else does. I went to the doctor to find out what was going on with me. They did their standard test and they said there was nothing wrong with me. But all the symptoms were very real. They were so severe. I had chronic fatigue and brain fog. I don't know if you know what brain fog is, but you can't put sentences together. I had aches and pains in my body at rest. I had immune issues and allergies. I was breaking out in hives and rashes. It just all happened within a few weeks. And so doctors were telling me all the same thing. I went to specialist after specialist, and turned out, you name it, I went there. And they all said the same thing. There's nothing wrong with you. You're overworked and you're stressed out. And so they basically said it was in my head.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah. And they said that for 2 years. And now you got to understand, within those 2 years, I was bedridden for 6 months where I
Oh
could
my
not get
gosh.
up out of bed. I had to have help to go to the bathroom. But here's the thing, I'm tenacious. And that doesn't work for me. You can't just say that it's in my head, because I know that that's not the case, right? So I started looking for a way to survive, because I was in that place of either you're going to make it or you're not, and when you're in your 20s, that's a pretty scary place to be. I don't care at any age, but especially when you're in your 20s, you think you're immortal. Nothing could ever happen to you. Well, I understood about obviously fitness and nutrition, but I didn't understand what was going on in my body, because I had started talking to specialists, and they're all telling me there was nothing wrong with me. So finally I reached out and I went the opposite route. I went to a naturopath, and within minutes she diagnosed me, and she told me I had something called Candida. And at first I never heard of it. And that's basically a yeast infection throughout your entire system, and it shuts your body down. And I found out I had gotten this because this is what they told me, and this is what I understood at that time. And I believe that as we grow and mature in areas in our life, that our revelation gets developed, and then we start to see new things develop and occur. So I understand it's more than what they told me. It's more of an emotional thing than a physical thing. But I didn't understand that at the time. So I'm going to kind of veer to that, how I came to this conclusion. So they told me it was because I'd taken tetracycline on and off for years, which was, an antibiotic, and I took it for acne. And she said all this dumped yeast into my system, and it basically overtook my good bacteria. It was in my gut, and it was shutting my system down. And I understood that from that point of view, because I was in the physical space of my head, understanding that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to find a cure for Candida, you have to cut out all the sugar and the fruits and the carbohydrates, and you wither down to nothing because you can't eat anything. And, it wasn't an option for me to get rid of all those foods. I had to find another solution. So I ended up hearing about some different products and things like that. And I started taking a product that was a multi-level marketing company. And then I went a trip to Italy because the product started working on my immune system and building me up and making me feel better. And then in Italy is when I learned about the lymphatic system. And it was just a basic visit to a clinic in Europe. And a woman motioned me over and said, hey, I want to share something with you. She didn't know me from Adam. And she said, have you ever heard of the lymphatic system? I said, no, I never heard of it. She goes, whatever. She goes, that's where everything stores there. It's your garbage disposal. I didn't think anything of it. There were about 20 of us in a group, and I went on my merry way. On the way home, flying back from Italy, I had an aha moment. And I thought, wait a second, if everything stores there, maybe yeast stores there. So I started looking into the lymphatic system as a way for me to get the healing that I needed, because I was stuck with this candida. And as long as I didn't eat those foods, the symptoms wouldn't come up. But as soon as I ate the foods, the symptoms came up. I like to eat pasta. I'm Italian. I like pasta. I love bread. That wasn't an option. Remember, I'm tenacious. So I decided to research this lymphatic system. And I realized that there's places out there that will clean this system. I call it a tank in my book, right? And it's like a storage tank. It's where everything stores. So I started getting some work done on me. And unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of release to where I could still eat the foods I wanted to. Maybe a little bit better, but nothing major. And so I had the understanding of the lymphatic system, and I had the candida, but I didn't understand how the two came together, so to speak. Until one day, I decided to open up a weight loss and wellness center in 2006. And now this is me on my journey and things like this is years later. I decided that I want to help other people get healthy and fit. And I've always been into weight loss. And so I thought I'll open up a weight loss and wellness center. Well, in my center, we did all kinds of different things. Like we did the wraps, and we did fitness toning tables, and we did the foot detox where the stuff comes out of the water, and we did all kinds of like infrared saunas and vibration therapy. I did all this. I never did any body work in my entire life. But I saw a woman, I'm in a business about 6 weeks. I saw a woman who had edema. And I said, let me just try something. So I start working on her. She gets off the table. The next day she calls me and says, I don't know what you did to me, but whatever you did, the swelling's completely gone. I have a twin sister. Can you do the same thing? I'm like, sure. She comes in, I do the same thing to her. Well, she gets the same results. Now I know I've got magic hands, so to speak, right? So I start doing a process, a hands-on body work process on people, and they're getting amazing results. And it's just kind of interesting how the whole journey came about. Well, I started a whole process. We call it now Extract. It's a total full body hands-on lymphatic process. It's an acronym for X is cancel, T is toxic, R is release, A is accelerated, C is cellular, and T is transformation. It transforms the body and the soul on a cellular level. Now, I'm going to say the word soul because there's a mind, will, and emotions. And I am 100% positive that whatever's going on in emotions, your body is now manifesting, right? Mm-hmm. Remember I said I understood it from a physical level, the candida?
Yes.
But if I look back years before, I went through a lot of ups and downs in childhood with traumas, my parents getting a divorce, me going through some bad breakups. And I understand a lot of that was cumulative, and it started manifesting physically. See, I don't think those symptoms would have been so severe had I not gone through those traumas, but everything kind of accumulated together, and it just manifested. So whatever's going on at a soul level, your mind, will, and emotions, your body's manifesting. Yeah. And the other thing I realized is there's power in the tongue. And this is my theory, and I truly, honestly believe that. I believe we as human beings complicate everything. We're just known to complicate things. That's human nature. I don't think it's as hard as we make it out to be. I think really a lot of it starts in the mind and what we speak. And if we start to take in toxicity in our minds and our thoughts, we partner with it, we identify with it, and then we speak it out. And that's when it becomes one with us. And so what was happening to me, and I knew this, because when I was sick back in the day, everything coming out of my mouth was just garbage. It was negative, and it just got me worse and worse and worse, right?
Yes, it attracts.
It attracts. And so I didn't realize that. The other thing I didn't realize is what's in you comes out of you. So I was a mess. I had abuse in relationships and things like that. I had this victim mentality. I was victimized in my own business at one time. I was victimized in my own health. And that was the pattern that I had taken on. So I teach people how to, first of all, look at what's going on in your mind. What are you partnering with and identifying with? Because I tell people, don't ever say your sickness. As soon as you say my this or my that, you've partnered with it, you've accepted it, and it's become part of your identity.
That is so true.
Got to sever that. The other thing I look at are two areas specifically. I look at fear and inferior. They're root areas that actually, I believe, cause sickness and disease. We have fear, and there's branches associated to that fear, and the body gets traumatized from those areas, and then and it receives that, or it's inferior. You're not good enough. We're not worthy. We don't. You see what I'm saying? And then the body manifests from there. So there's a communication that's constantly happening. It's either good or bad. And again, it will manifest several ways in your thoughts, in your words, in your physical body, in your marriages, or in your relationships. And I'm telling you, we make everything so much more complicated than it has to be.
Yes.
Watch what you're saying. Watch what you're partnering and agreeing with. And start changing those things, because you have the ability to do that. Also, when you start to do that, your perspective changes, your patterns change, your belief changes, everything else starts to change. And so what I did is I came up with a book, and I call it Unveiled Truth, What Doctors Don't Know Will Hurt You. Now listen, I'm not dogging doctors. I think doctors are great for emergency only, okay? You got a broken leg, go to a doctor, go to a hospital. You got some kind of an issue going on in your body, you're not sure what it is, you go to the doctor, they're like, oh, well, it could be this, or this, here's a drug, or here's surgery, and sorry, if we can't do either of those, there's nothing we can do for you. I mean, that's what happened to me, right? I think they're great for response emergency, but when it comes to being proactive and trying to find out on a preventative level, that's not where you need to go, right? So I tell people, don't look at the physical, look at what's going on emotionally first, because I guarantee things were stirring up beforehand before you got sick. We know forgiveness has a lot to do with that, right? We know mindset. There's a lot of things that are really contributing to our health and well-being, not only in our health, but in our relationships and our finances and our businesses. Remember, I was a victim in my own business because I was a victim in my life. And it all correlates together. So I took one piece of that and I created this book. And what I did is I said, okay, let's look at these areas and let's dissect them. And let's look at a process elimination and see what we can do. And then at the end, let's make sure that we're speaking the right thing. And we have declarations, we have affirmations, and then I have scripture, because I'm a Christian and I believe there's power in prayer. And as we agree, it manifests, right? So that's kind of how this book started. So I started out doing, we call them tanks. I call them soul tank or physical body tank or the spiritual tank. And we want to make sure there's unification in the spirit, soul, and body. And only when we have unification, our spirit, soul, and body, is when we can have optimal health and wholeness. And if you take it right back to the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve were there before the fall of man, there was total unity there. There was no separation. The reason people get disease is it's a dis-ease, an imbalance. So what you want to do is you want to make sure your spirit, your soul, and your body are in alignment and agreement together. And the way to do that, I believe, is speaking it, declaring it, and receiving it.
I love it. I am right there with you, because I mean, don't we need to, yes, take seriously what we feed our body, what we put in our body, but then our emotions, our thoughts, what we speak, whether we create negative or we create positive, and the whole, positive and gratitude and all of that. It does that. Those all need to come together, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And the other thing is you have to change. And see, I think people really hate that word change. And I'm kind of a freak when it comes to that. I love change. Like, I can feel when there's a change coming in anything. And I love it. I get excited. It's uncharted territory. It's like, ooh, something cool is coming to the next.
What's next?
Right. Yeah. Right. So, and I embrace that change. And like, we're in this place right now where we're going into a new season. Everyone's talking about the old era into the new era. And on a Hebrew level, there's a Hebrew calendar, there's a Gregorian calendar that we follow, but there's a Hebrew calendar. And the Hebrew, this season is Pey, P-E-Y, and that's mouth. And so as we speak things, we're going to start to declare them. We're going to start see things manifested. So those dreams and those visions and things you've been saying and speaking and believing for, you're going to start to see manifest in this season, right? That's an exciting time.
Yes.
So I tell people, really be careful what you're speaking, because yes, eating right, working out, absolutely. But you know what? If you're saying all these negative things, everything else that you're doing is it's not gonna give you the fruit. It's not gonna give you the results that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So it is so important that we just stop and think. And also, it's good to be outside the box. I'm outside the box. There's no box for me. You cannot contain me in a box. Like I said, I'm very tenacious. I'm definitely, a person who will take a risk. And, I had to stop being a people pleaser, because when you're a people pleaser, you confine yourself because you're afraid somebody isn't going to like what you have to say. And honestly, I can't live like that anymore, because I truly believe what I'm saying is truth. And I have lived it and breathed it and moved it. And I've helped a lot of people get on the other side of sickness and disease and failure or whatever else is going on because of this philosophy. And, I'm really a huge believer in you become what you say. Yeah. Yes, food is important. Yes, like we said, diet, exercise, all that, but it's a piece. It's not the whole thing. And also, I'm a big person on faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and I believe that, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for God. I mean, I'm telling you, I shouldn't be alive. I really shouldn't, for all the things that I went through, but thank you for his amazing grace. And I'm here and I'm able to share this. And I believe we go through things to help other people get through what they need to get through. Yes. I've never learned anything the easy way. I've always learned things the hard way. And in my book, I had 150 jobs, so I must like change, right? And that's not an exaggeration. I actually counted that. It was because I knew I was built for more. I knew I had a message that needed to come out, but I wasn't getting it in the job. And so I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I love helping people and getting them to the next level. And this book, I think, is a good start to help them get there. And I also do, one-on-one consulting. I do peer groups where I have other entrepreneurs come in and we talk, and we kind of are like an informal board. It's just helping people get where they need to go is really my desire now.
When someone has finished reading your book, what would you say are the most important points that you really have hoped to have shared with them?
I've actually asked that question. And so pretty much everybody said that they see hope. They don't feel hopeless anymore, because when you're told that there's nothing wrong with you, and I've heard this by many people, you're reading my mail, to know that there is hope, and that you can take this into your own hands, and you can get the tool that you need to help you get to the other side of whatever issue that you're dealing with, and knowing that there's more than one approach to doing it.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And we do need to think about our lymphatic system. So what would you say to everyone, like right now, what should I do that's going to help detox my lymphatic system?
So the key here is movement, right? Because the lymphatic system, the way the lymph moves, it goes up towards the heart and down towards the heart. It just goes up and down. There's no outlet. And it doesn't have a way to really release. And eventually it'll come out through the colon, but depending on how your body eliminates, it could take a long time, right? So this fluid has to have an avenue out. And so the best way that I tell people, other than getting an actual release, physical release like we do in extract or other traditional methods out there, is a rebounder. So you're jumping up and down. I do some exercise. I can show people some exercises, dry brushing to help move that lymphatic fluid, hot and cold compresses, hot, cold showers. Those are ways to help release some of the fluid, and just getting a lot of movement so that the body can start to release through the natural elimination process. Now, what we do with extract, and I have, facilitators around the country, because I teach this process through my academy, is we do it where we actually move the fluid, bring it into the bladder, the body eliminates it. So I get people urinating immediately right off the table. And they see and feel a difference right away. Like they'll see things shrink, they'll lose inches. I see people losing back fat or inches around their legs or waist within the first hour. It happens that quickly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you basically work with them physically And this just causes a release.
Yes, yes. And then a lot of times people come to me that don't live in an area where I have a facilitator, because we're in 36 states. We're not everywhere yet.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll do is I'll work with them on an emotional level first, get them healing in that area. And then I'm going to say, okay, now what I need you to do is go find somebody who's near you to get some physical release. Because sometimes if you don't hit the emotion first, the physical is not going to release. So it's because, remember, the root area is the emotion. The physical is what's manifesting afterwards. So sometimes people get to the place where they'll get results on a physical level, but it'll come back because we didn't go to the roots. So I'll talk to my clients and I'll say, listen, let's see where you are first. You know, what's going on? What's going on physically with you? What's going on emotionally? And then I'll start working with them maybe on an emotional level first, do some sessions with them, just like this, like what I'm doing with you right now. And then I'll take them into the physical piece. And they get so much better results. But again, if you want to get temporary results, go physical. If you want permanent, you want lasting results, go on the emotional level.
Yes.
Because they communicate.
Yes. And I'm very into what vibration level we reside in. And our emotions direct that.
Yes, they do. Frequency and vibration.
That our energy, our vibration tells our DNA what to do. I mean, that is just so powerful, isn't it?
We are, you and I, Paula, right here.
Oh, we are.
We're so there. I'll tell you, yeah, because when we speak, there's a vibration and frequency that comes out of positive and a negative. And you're declaring that and you're speaking that because there's power in the tongue. And so
we are the positive girls. Love it, Nina.
We should just come up with a show together and say, hey, this is how we live, right? I'm telling you, like I said, it's keep it super simple. KISS.
Yes.
Because we don't have to complicate, and it really does just start right here in the mouth.
Oh,
it really
I love that. That is so powerful. Yes, simple and powerful. I would love you to share with everyone how they can contact you to work with you or get a copy of your great book. Please do that for us.
So this is the best way I would say, because again, I'm trying to get people to where they can get the most out of everything. And I would really even love to talk to people before they even get the book. Maybe I can help them with the right approach for the book and get the most they can get out of it. So the best way I would say is email me personally. You know, if you need prayer, I'll pray for you. I'm also an ordained pastor. So, I can do that for them. A lot of times I can kind of hear what's going on and maybe help them navigate a certain way. So the best way is just reach out to me and I can get you the book. I can get them whatever they need for whatever needs that they have. But my personal email is xtractyou@gmail.com. If you're interested in learning more about the Academy, it's learn, LEARN, xtracty.com.
I love
and then they can also reach me out on the phone as well. I have no problem. I love connecting with people. So, and that's 760-409-4031. Sorry.
I love it. And I have to say, I just love the point you made in the beginning of the show. Here you were listening to your body. You knew you were sick. You knew something was wrong. And even though you were getting all of the nothing's wrong with you, you didn't stop. You listened to your body and you reached out until you found someone that could help you. And I just think that's really a powerful statement, really a great message, Nina.
Thank you. And I hope that people realize that there is hope out there. Everyone is custom and different. And I don't believe that sickness and disease is part of our plan. I really don't. Mm-hmm. And I just don't want people to take it. I don't want them to take ownership of it because we have a choice not to. And it really does start with our mouth. And so I'm tenacious. I don't stop. And sometimes you grow weary, trying to get the answers and you can't get them. And that's why I wrote this book too, because it does give you some answers and it does offer hope. And I hope that's my greatest prayer is that people really do have an open heart and open mind to really see something different. Maybe take a little bit different approach on something, because sometimes when you do the same thing over and over again, expect to get different results. That's the definition of insanity. Try something new. Maybe this book might be the answer, maybe it's not, but at least it'll give you a new approach and a new understanding of maybe what's going on.
And that's so true.
Physically,
When we can take a step to either look at something with our mind in a new way, or be open to that, or take a step and do something in a different way. That really is a great message, Nina.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just a big believer, and there's always a way.
Yes.
There's always a way.
With about 3 minutes left in the show, what last words do you want to leave with everyone?
Just like we talked about, just don't give up. There is hope. There is an answer. It may not be what you think it is, or it may not be what you want to hear, but don't let fear get in the way. Just reach out. You never know. Your answer could be just a phone call away, or a website away, or a book away. Because I truly believe that we all have a destiny, and that, we are called for more, and sickness and disease is not part of it.
Yes. Yes. And we do have the power of the choice, don't we?
Yeah.
We don't have to, do exactly what we're told or someone else's opinion. We really make the final decision, don't we?
Yeah. And it's a matter of, do you want to fight for it or not? Do you really want it bad enough or not? Because if you do, you'll find a way, and and the right people and the right resources will start to come to you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's true, especially if we do open up our mind and open up our mouth with the positive words. Well, I'm going to find the answer. I'm going to find the connections that are going to give me the answer. That puts that out there.
It really does. It makes a difference. It's your intent. Everything's by intent. And if you have the intent, you will find you will get the answers you're looking for.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I've enjoyed you so much, Nina.
Thank you. You too. You're wonderful. I love hearing that you and I are so on the same page, especially that frequency and vibration. I'm like, yes.
Yes. Energy sisters. Yes, we are.
Sure. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Oh, so happy to have you on the show. This has been great. Thank you, Nina. Love, hugs, and blessings.
Thank you. You too.
Everyone out there, love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you for joining us today. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.